I'm David Stanfield, and welcome to the North Shore of Maui in the Hawaiian Islands for the Maui Windsurfing Grand Prix. This international regatta has attracted the world's finest windsurfers, and the competition promises to be action-packed with course racing, dual surf slalom, and the high-flying freestyle event.
I should be saying goodnight. I really shouldn't stay anymore. It's been so long since I've heard you. Forgotten what love is for. I should I think I'm in trouble.
Born on the wind and riding a new wave of popularity, windsurfing has become the hottest new water sport on the planet. Top sailors from Japan, Africa, England, Switzerland, Australia, and all parts of North America have converged on the island of Maui for the Pipeline and O'Neill Wetsuits $8,000 Grand Prix. This first-of-its-kind event in the sport of windsurfing is organized by Sailboards Maui. Two of windsurfing's most famous competitors, Robbie Nash and Mike Waltz.
Well, Robbie's pretty much a wizard. He stepped into the sport at a really young age in a really hot place, and it was just like natural to him.
At that time, I really needed something to grab onto because I did everything. I played football, basketball, skateboard. Changed my life completely. I started doing well in school. Didn't do any drugs or anything because that didn't impress any of the guys that I was hanging around with.
When I saw him pull up in the car, he was this little scroungy 13-year-old kid, and ended up getting second. And about 4 months later, he won the Worlds. Robbie's been the forerunner of a lot of things. He invented the rail ride. You know, he's probably the first guy to do radical upside-down jumps. His style it's unique. It's a little bit different than everybody else's.
I am a surfer and I am a sailor. Windsurfing is my life. The style that I've adapted is to make it perfect to the point where it is my life. Mike Waltz looks like he was about 6 feet tall, and then someone put him in a little box and squished him down into a little gorilla. Incredibly strong and sails that way.
Learned how in Newport Beach way back when. It was a converted surfboard with about a 20-square-foot sail. The whole time I was surfing, too, since I've been about 10, and was more into surfing than windsurfing. I think it was in '78 at one of the regattas. I really got inspired by watching Ken Winter and Mark Robinson and Court Larned. And about the time I decided to move to Hawaii, it was about 3 months after foot straps came out. Just putting those two things together and watching guys jump, I just had to go do it.
Ken, you're 7-time world champion. Is competition everything in the sport of windsurfing?
Competition is an important part of it for me and for most of the people here. But the sport is the kind of sport that anybody can do, anybody can enjoy, whether they're on a flat lake with 5 knots of wind or in the ocean with 15-foot seas and 30 knots of wind.
Based on traditional yachting rules, course racing was originally designed by the Europeans. Here, the world's top men and women competitors will round the buoys with an expected winning time of about 40 minutes. Robbie Nash takes the lead on his Mistral sailboard. Swiss champion Karl Mesmer finished the heats with a second and a third. Karl is the only sailor within range of catching Robbie Nash, the 18-year-old four-time world champion who dominated today's course racing with 2 big wins. Tomorrow will be the finals.
I'm talking to Hawaii's Pete Cabrina. Pete, can you tell us the difference between the 2 board designs in competition today?
Yeah, we're looking at them right here. Obviously, this is a longer board. It's a regatta-type board. It's mostly for going around a designed course. The main difference is length in the water line, and it has an adjustable dagger board for going upwind, and you kick it all the way down like this, so you get to the first mark, and then kick it back accordingly to how far of a reach it is. And this board right here is a little shorter for surfing, and the object is try to make it as close to the surfboard as you can. Really thin in the tail and quick straps. When you jump waves, you can just lock and control and lift it any way you want like this. Otherwise, it's a pretty basic board. It's mostly like a surfboard.
Oh, there's the start.
In the triangles, we have upwind, downwind, reaches, everything in the course racing. That takes a longer board, a pretty specialized board in shape so that it goes well on all points of sail. And you also have to use tactics, sailing ability instead of just plain windsurfing ability. You have to know what to do to get upwind and what to do at marks when there's a lot of people. It's a bit more demanding mentally than it is physically. A lot of people build boards that seem to be the perfect thing and then take it out and it doesn't work at all. No one can jump on a board immediately and do really well. You have to learn how to sail it.
Robbie, you won the course racing event. What was it like? How was the competition?
The competition was great. Most people didn't really get a chance to show what they could do because the winds really weren't cooperating too well. They were fairly light, not a whole lot of waves, so my board did really well.
Well, out of about 60 contestants, you got 2 firsts and 2 seconds, so what was your advantage?
Mostly equipment. Both myself and Charlie Mesmer, who got second, were sailing my father's boards, which are pretty good. They have really flat tails, which is good and moderate to light air. Plus, I've been racing for quite a while.
Congratulations, Rob.
Thank you. Maui blows almost all the time. If it's 5 knots on Oahu, it's 15 knots here. And there are also some really good spots like Hokipa, where the surf and the wind come in pretty good directions to each other, make it great for windsurfing.
Pretty much the wind direction's perfect, and it catches the biggest waves also. It's kind of a half moon bay, so it's kind of a natural arena for photographers and stuff, and everybody really seems to get turned on by the lake.
Julie, the competition out there is really rigorous. What's it like for a woman?
It's just as tough for the women as it is for the men, but we're up against the best in the world are here.
Hold on to your sails for the windsurfing explosion. Windsurfing has already amassed a huge competitive network with regional, national, and world championships. and will soon be an Olympic sport. The sport's champions are all here on Maui's scenic north coast. Mike Walsh, fresh from his world championship victory in Japan. The incredible Robbie Nash, who won his first world championship at the age of 13. 23-year-old Richard White has rapidly emerged as one of the sport's top contenders. Here, the young designers and competitors test and refine their equipment, searching for more speed, more control, lighter weight. These innovators are competing to be the first to complete the still elusive and radical 360-degree aerial loop.
They put the women against the men, which seems almost unfair in this competition, but we only had 5 women, so I guess you just go for your best.
The international field of men competitors is indeed only being challenged by 5 women, headed by California's Rhonda Smith, sailing for O'Neill wetsuits. The women will rely on finesse and grace, confident of their abilities, as they go one-on-one against the men.
The techniques for wave riding and surfing back in, that's for only advanced people?
Well, it helps if you have surfing background, but most of the people out here don't, and you can see they're all pretty good. It helps to have wave judgment and wave reading, but just by windsurfing too, it's similar to surfing, so once you get on a wave, you can usually figure out what's going on, and you have a lot more speed than you do on a surfboard.
What's your strategy going to be for the rest of the competition?
Slalom, go as fast as I can and not fall, and wave surfing and jumping, just do my thing.
I just got caught with the set without any wind. And it's this big, the only channel is right down there, and the wind gets blocked by the cliff.
Will there be any competition today?
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to try to go out down there on the other side of the rocks over here at the lane.
Great, good luck.
Test it out, it might be good. All right.
Crazy!
The slalom was completely reaches, where you sail off the wind, and you can use a really small board in that, and big sails. And there's not a whole lot of tactics involved. Whoever can make their board go faster wins. You know, if a gorilla could windsurf really well and aim at an orange mark, then it would do fairly well in the slalom.
Winning over Florida's Greg Aguirre, Robbie Nash is the quickest to every orange mark and is unbeatable in the dual surf slalom event. Now we travel up the coast to Hukipa Beach Park for the premier event that everybody's been waiting for, the wave surfing and jumping.
Francis Baron de Ronay, probably the world's famous windsurfer from cross-country and distance records. Baron, what are the basic tricks and the maneuvers these guys are going to be doing out here?
Just not get caught by a big wave, to be able to jibe very fast, to be very maneuverable in these waves. and you'll see the best guys immediately stand up among the others.
Well, the way the scoring's set up, it's on a 20-point system, and they have 5 points for jumping, 5 points for style, which is your overall routine, and 10 points for surfing, the actual riding of the wave. To win that event, more or less, the judges are going to be looking for the guy who's doing the most surfing and the most turning and stuff on waves, the guy who catches the most waves, does the most radical maneuvers.
This is one of the first times this event has ever tried to be pulled off in Hawaii, as far as I know. And it's of great importance that you've read your wave surfing and jumping sailing instructions so that you understand the parameters of this event.
The competitors today, are they the best in the world that we have here?
Oh, absolutely.
There will be 4 competitors on the water, and that's it. The first heat will be Ishiwata versus Rhonda Smith and Renee Bauman versus Richard White.
Japan, Asunimoto Ishiwata gets a nice ride and maneuvers off the curl of the wave. Rhonda Smith, top woman contender with 8 world titles, has a shot at the finals. Other competitors sail out through the surf for their heats. Meanwhile, Team O'Neill's Rhonda Smith has gone down hard. It looks like she's in trouble. Richard White with a bottom turn, hurls, and swallows a little water. Rhonda Smith comes ashore after cutting her head on her board. 48 stitches puts her out of the competition. Mike Walsh flies out to the surf for his preliminary heat to exhibit his wave riding skills. Without a doubt, the wave surfing and jumping is the most sensational event. Windsurfers have added a whole new dimension to the term wipeout, especially in this strong surf. In spite of a broken mast, Robbie Nash qualifies for the finals. Julie DeWord surprises everyone, including herself, and wins her preliminary heat. With the yellow sail, Team O'Neill's Ken Winter has advanced into the finals. The O'Neill wetsuit vest protects the board sailors from wind chill, something they fear, even in the tropical waters of Hukipa's treacherous reefs and rocky shoreline. Now for the finals of the wave surfing and jumping.
I'd like to again offer my congratulations to our 16 finalists. The finalists did a super job staying in the competition.
You're the only woman in the finals of the competition of the wave surfing and jumping. What's your strategy?
If the winds are too high and the waves are too big, I don't dare go in the water, not here on Maui. It's too treacherous. There's a lot of men that won't go out. I've heard a lot of the guys say they won't even go into the water into their heat because of the conditions as they were yesterday. If they're good, I'll go and just go for it.
Julie DeWord goes into the finals. The 23-year-old woman from Honolulu, with just 12 months of windsurfing experience, gives it her best shot, but is eliminated in her first 2 heats. Hawaiian-born Fred Haywood, with 22 years of surfing experience and just 2 years of windsurfing experience, is the sport's oldest living big wave windsurfer, 32 years old. A resident of Maui's Lahaina, getting a nice long ride. Spectators watch the action as Haywood gets some good air, but he's eventually defeated by Matt Schweitzer and Klaus Zimmer in the double elimination finals. O'Neill's Ken Winter from Annapolis, Maryland, is upset and out of the competition after 3 rounds. The sail with the M stands for Mistral, one of the world's leading manufacturers of sailboards. After winning the course racing and the surf slalom, Robbie Nash of Kailua, Oahu, seems unbeatable. He goes one-on-one with the up-and-coming aggressive style of Pete Cabrina. Both windsurfers train and sail in the warm trade winds that blow off famous Diamond Head. Nash defeats Cabrina, now takes on Richard White. Richard picks up speed, gets into a good wave, and works it to the max. White has upset Robbie Nash. Nash is out of the finals. Richard White's victory over Robbie Nash is cut short as Klaus Zimmer flies into action to knock White out of the competition. The semifinal round saw Matt Schweitzer, a three-time world champion, defeating Klaus Zimmer. Klaus was consistent and conservative, ending up placing third. The raging surf off Maui's Hukipa Beach sets the stage for the dynamic final matchup. Matt Schweitzer against the tenacious Mike Waltz, who's gone undefeated in every heat so far. Team O'Neill, Schweitzer leads Waltz out through the surf. Matt's sail is the rainbow with red on the bottom panel. Mike's lower rainbow is blue. Schweitzer does a quick jibe, hoping to catch a good wave. Matt does a couple of turns. Then does a great jibe and heads back out through the lane. Waltz on a wave, surfing in front of the critical part of the curl. Waltz again going for it. This looks to be a real powerful wave. Schweitzer slips out of his foot strap, but stays with it. Mike Waltz with a great high-flying jump. Schweitzer has the sail reversed, manages to catch the wave, then brings the sail around and drops to the bottom for a very smooth turn. Matt on the inside working the whitewater for points. Waltz on a fast wave. His mast is 15 feet in height, so judge for yourself the size of the surf. He really looks good. Very aggressive. Fantastic bottom turns and cutbacks. A Grand Prix winning wave. Mike Waltz comes out of the water after winning the world's first ever freestyle wave surfing and jumping event, while Robbie Nash wins the Maui Windsurfing Grand Prix Overall Championship. You won the wave surfing and jumping event. What does it feel like?
It was great.
What happened out there? What was the difference between you and your longtime friend Matt Schweitzer?
I really don't know. I guess it was up to the judges. I ended up over here at the left and he was at the right, so we couldn't really see each other. I think we both had the same thing on our mind, to catch as many waves as possible and stay as maneuverable as we can.
What were you doing on those waves?
Just trying to do as many turns as I could and impress the judges and trying not to fall.
We call it Hall of Fame Day, me and Fred and the boys. Every once in a while you get a day that's just right on. And for that day, the conditions were pretty much perfect for the time I was out. Because the wind wasn't very strong. It was maybe 18 knots. And the waves were a good 8 feet, maybe some 10-foot sets.